This is our first ever episode covering a movie that was requested by a patron.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's an older one.
It is.
But it's excellent.
It is. It's, well, some of the best B movies are exceedingly old. This doesn't qualify for that yet, but it's midpoint.
It is. It's midpoint. It's an excellent film. It's relatively unknown.
True.
There's a lot of lessons to be learned from it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Quite a few.
Yeah. And it's one of those that I think is a really good example of making something that maybe not everyone is going to get, but not caring about that.
Yeah, this is the do your thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a lot of cryptic stuff. I don't know. Should we dive into this so it can be explained?
Sure.
All right.
Let's go.
Let's do it. Hey, B-Siders. Welcome to another episode of Bravo for the B-Side. This is Jim.
I'm Danny.
And this week we have something. It's, don't give me that look. It's a movie that, it has a cult following.
Yes.
It was supposed to be a major motion picture in terms of release and everything.
Yes.
All of that. It's based off of a book from the 60s. And what classifies it as a B film is it had a hell of a time.
It was dropped by the first studio that wanted to distribute it.
Yep.
Dropped by the second studio that wanted to distribute it.
Yep.
And then picked back up by the first studio that wanted to distribute it, but on weird terms.
Right. It's all over the place.
Yeah.
So it's not that it's bad, right? This is like the 1980 equivalent of 2001: Space Odyssey, which you have to go into this. It's a thinker.
It's very cerebral. It's very art film.
Yes. And you can't, you can't go into it half-assed.
No.
Let's be honest. A lot of like some of the horror films, they're fun. They're gory. That's the whole experience, right? But you can look away for a couple minutes.
You can.
And come back and not be super lost in things.
And we'll often do that when we watch horror movies. We'll be like, oh, let's put on something we don't have to really pay attention to.
Yeah, background stuff, Yeah. But then peripherally, you catch the, look at that fucking blood.
Yeah.
Did you see that head pop? This needs your full attention.
Yes.
Because it's a thinker. It is a thinker.
Yeah. And it's very quick in terms of pacing.
It is. And, I've got a lot to talk about on that aspect of it. But this bad boy is loaded with stars.
It is.
Because of its original aspirations to become almost like a tentpole film. So,
yes.
Hey, why don't you take us into this bad boy so we can get talking about it?
Okay. So this movie is called The Ninth Configuration. It's an obscure reference as the title for the movie, but it was made in 1980. It was written and directed by William Peter Blatty, whom you might have heard of, the guy who made The Exorcist.
Yep.
This movie is nothing like The Exorcist. It stars Stacy Keach, Scott Wilson, Jason Miller, Ed Flanders, Robert Loggia, George DeCenzo, and Neville Brand. Mm-hmm. So many names.
I know.
Yeah. It was rated R, and for good reason.
Yes.
It's not like there's a lot of like nudity or sex or anything in it. It's
subject matter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The budget was $2.5 million. pretty good budget. The log line is: a former Marine arrives at a mental asylum housed in a remote castle to run it. There he attempts to rehabilitate the patients by letting them act out their craziest fantasies and desires. Not really.
That's no. It's should we hit the notes?
Yeah.
Before we jump into it. So here's the thing. William Peter Blatty wrote this in 1966.
Mm-hmm.
It was published under the title Twinkle Twinkle Killer Kane.
Mm-hmm.
And he and William Friedkin wanted to make the film, but they didn't have any takers. So they ended up falling into and moving on to The Exorcist.
Yes.
Right? Which made bank worldwide.
Huge
It got
bank.
attention. Okay.
It was a big deal.
And that's how Blatty got funding
For this.
Friedkin, I guess, was either not interested or he had moved on to other things.
Right.
I think he just kind of like, I'm sick of kicking this fucking dead dog. Right? It's been, 14 years. We've been talking, this could make a movie, and everybody shit on it.
Yeah.
And, he was doing other things.
And the only reason that Blatty was able to make this is because The Exorcist was so successful.
Yes.
He was riding his own success train.
Yeah, that's what, people noticed him. They're like, holy fuck, look what that guy did. And he wants money for another film. Let's give him some.
Yeah.
So he did find financing.
And then he made this. So.
And what's funny though, he decided to direct it himself.
Yeah.
Like, well, Friedkin's off doing something. I'm not going to mess around looking for people.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it. I got money. I'll do it.
Yeah. And it turns out he's a really good director.
Yeah. This is, I don't want to, let's get into it. Let's get into it. And, cause I have comments on that through.
Yeah.
All right. Bring us in.
Yeah. So this movie is just a madhouse of a film. We did our best to take notes and walk through it, but I know at one point you just started writing down thoughts.
I gave up. And I'll talk more about that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I could mention it now as we get into it. So the beginning of this film, for me, it was just too chaotic because when I take notes, I get like 5 pages of notes.
Yeah.
At the end of watching something, you get 3.
3.
Right. I try to capture the detail and the mood, but this motherfucker was like trying to read the fucking serial numbers off of the trucks of a fucking train moving down the track at 70 miles an hour. It was so hard. And I felt like I'm writing basic sentences, and when I read them, as I first started writing them, it sounded like I was having a stroke if I were to read them out loud. Right.
Yeah.
Man walking down. Nope. Now doing this and they're singing and the guy with the thing and, all that's missing is I smell eggs out of the blue. So at one point I did stop trying to capture it and I turned my focus onto the things that I loved about this film.
Yeah.
And what we see in it. So it's going to be kind of intermixed. You're going to be bringing us the movie. I got
most
a little
of
bit.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. And then my ruminations will come up.
So we do our best to walk through it, but there are some things that you just kind of have to see.
I want to say, I don't know if we can do this justice. I had reservations about this.
I know.
Just because this is such a visual movie that you just can't in a passing sentence capture the mood because there is so much visually going on.
Yeah.
And these things are literally 2, 3, and 4 second lines.
Yeah.
Handed off and they're random. But when you're watching it, it makes sense. It fits. It's all right there. And so if you're listening to this, folks, and at some point during or after you're like, I don't know. Trust me. You need to see this fucking thing. You need to clear your calendar. You need
2 hours.
You need to put your comfy clothes on.
Yeah.
Right? You need to kick the fuck back. Put the kids to bed. Right? Because you don't want interruptions on this.
Yeah.
And dive in. Turn the lights down and just soak into this thing and let it just... This is literally a mind fuck of a movie.
Yes.
And it will get you thinking about shit.
It will.
It will. So that's okay. I step back now.
Okay.
It's yours.
All right. So we start out, and before even visuals hit me, it's that song San Antone.
Yeah.
Which is just really lovely to hear. We're over water. We're in front of a castle. It's raining. It's a really kind of somber, slow opening. And it sets the tone for like, okay, I'm in for a serious movie. And then we see young Scott Wilson, who is Herschel.
Yeah, for those of you who don't know the name Scott Wilson, he's Herschel Green from Walking Dead. And it's funny because a lot of people we've seen who watched The Walking Dead when he was before he got killed.
Yeah,
and that better not be a spoiler because that was like 5 years ago. People.
Yeah.
They didn't know he had been an actor, and this wasn't even like his first stroll in 1980.
No.
So yeah,
he's a wonderful actor.
He is fucking wonderful, and he's one of the key players in this.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he's sitting on a window ledge, and then there's a lot of really nice outdoor shots, but the film quality is a little grainy, but I think that's partially because it's an older film.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it was actually because it was second unit.
Probably.
Because this was filmed in Austria. Was it Austria?
I think so.
Yeah, Austria and parts here in the U.S.
Yeah. So
why don't you tell us?
Well,
what's next?
It's a castle. He's in a castle.
Yep.
And there's shots of this castle, and it's kind of ridiculous. This castle.
Yeah.
It's absurdly tall.
Yes.
And it doesn't widen at the bottom at all. It's just like really narrow and super tall.
Yep, like a giant oatmeal box with corners.
Yeah. And with like 12 spires.
Yes. And well, here's the thing.
Crazy.
It's real.
Yeah.
Now, this is supposed to take place in the Pacific Northwest in the U.S.
Yeah.
In a castle in the U.S.
Yeah.
I fucking love it. Well, because we talked about that in a previous episode. We brought this up.
We did.
Yeah.
And actually, my dad called to correct you. He was like, it's not an abandoned castle. The military rented it from someone.
Oh, okay.
To use.
Cool.
So.
Well, there you go. So, yeah, they had to go to Austria to find this castle. And, yeah, so, but they did a lot of second unit shooting over there because they did a lot of non-castle shots here. And I think it was just a matter of the second unit didn't quite have the same equipment.
Probably.
And plus it was a lot shittier because it was overcast, raining.
Well, yeah.
And so, yeah, low light, green kind of thing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we see our castle with 12 spires. And then we cut to a long shot of a rocket on a launch pad at night. So it's a Saturn III rocket, from the 60s. And it's funny because the massive moonrise comes up behind the rocket, the kind that you only get in Hollywood.
It's huge. It takes up the whole screen.
I know. If the moon was that huge, it would have destroyed the Earth.
Well, yes.
But this is...
There's a reason it's that big.
It is. But I was going to say, because it's a visual that's important to the story. And it's a movie, so you can do that.
Yep.
Yeah. So remember that, folks. Giant moon.
Yeah.
And then we have the stars above. And then we hear an alarm. Well, there's some jibber jabber, Houston, irrelevant. And then we hear an alarm.
Yeah.
Right. And then we cut to the gantry on the launch pad, and they're pulling an astronaut out of the rocket, and it's Scott Wilson.
Yeah.
Right. And pulling him away from the rocket to take him off of the pad.
And he's fighting with them.
He's fighting, and he's just, fucking screaming. And, you don't think anything of it. Like, wow, okay, here we go. And then we cut back to the castle, and now he's on a bed in surgical pants, but wearing his military shirt. So then he goes to the window, And he says, somebody's coming. Just kind of,
Yeah.
you know. So then we hear trumpets. They're playing Reveille. And then we have, I wrote this down because
I liked it.
We have a mix of soldiers not seen since MASH, the movie, line up in the courtyard. And Scott comes down and he's got this fucked up like Mad Hatter top hat.
Yep. And a cane.
And a cane. And I never could figure out that jacket. Was it a smoking jacket? Because it's kind of in rough shape.
I believe it was like a flight jacket.
Like a flight jacket? Because it was red.
Yeah.
The red jacket. Anyway, he comes out in this red thing and this fucked up hat and his cane. And they all, respond to him, "Hail Caesar!"
Yeah. Then we get kind of a voiceover that explains what's going on because you start this out and you're like, what the fuck?
Right. Well, and that's our first introduction to just 4 and 5 word.
Yeah.
Bink, bonk, bonk, boom, boom.
Yep.
When you see this, like I said, you see this ensemble, you're like, ha.
So a voiceover explains that after the Vietnam War, there were an unusually high number of soldiers exhibiting psychosis. Just before coming home, being sent home for psychosis, and like right after they came home. And so the military set up a number of secret bases to study the phenomenon, one of which was a castle in the Pacific Northwest United States, running secretive experiments to study this.
So after that, we cut back to the courtyard, and we have another older soldier who's dressed properly.
Yes.
Is dressing down the assembled mental cases. And he's telling them that a new psychiatrist is on the way. And I loved his introduction. The greatest fucking psychiatrist in the world.
Yes.
So then we cut to a man sleeping in a car. It's a soldier. He's an officer. You can tell. If you look close, you can see he's a colonel. As it's driving, he wakes up and we see they're going through like a nearby town.
Yeah.
And we see a parade of bikers. And they're, I don't know, stereotypical, biker club.
Yeah.
But then they also have a pickup truck. And in the back of the truck is some guy who's all tied up. And you know what?
Like, literally tied up in a chair.
Well, you know what he reminded me of? And I never thought of this, until, all these years of Harry Potter and stuff. Way back, never would have occurred to me. But he reminds me of like an assistant to one of the shopkeepers in around where the wand store is. Just the way he had that weird, can only be described as 60s vest that almost looks sort of medieval, just plain brown thing, this weird fucking shirt.
Yeah.
And the super short bowl haircut.
Well, he's supposed to look like very square.
Well, yeah, this is beyond square. This is like, whoa, dude. But yeah, so he's all tied up and there's some bikers in the back, and they just kind of drive by and the officer just watches them go. So then the car arrives at the castle and so the gang out there,
the soldiers,
start singing "You Are My Sunshine."
And they follow it up by famous movie lines.
Yes. And that's kind of a recurring thing. That's another... Like one, you can't just like one off that.
I know.
Okay. So elsewhere, we have a guy coming out of a room in his underwear saying, he's done it again. My jacket, my shirt, my pants. he's saying this to a master sergeant. And so then in the courtyard, we see a psychiatrist is talking with Frome.
Yeah, and so the soldier in the car has come. And he's talking to Frome.
Yeah. And Frome is the local doctor, or so he says. Right? And then we find out that Frome is the guy who took the jacket and the pants and everything.
Yeah.
From the real doctor.
Yeah.
Who is the medic. there. Right. So, yeah.
Yeah. And this is a recurring thing.
It is. Yeah.
So the whole scene and everything in this kind of like intro to the soldiers and to the psychiatrist is really funny. There's a lot of quotable dialogue in this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a moment between the medic and the psychiatrist who the medic calls him Vincent, and he's like, well, that's not my name. Where they kind of exchange a few like long glances,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a little bit odd, even in all the chaos happening around them.
Yeah.
So then we get to see the castle interior, and it's kind of full of statues and castle ephemera, like a picture of Dracula, and it's weird, but it's great.
I'm just going to say, seeing this movie once, I mean, you have to see it and pay attention. You're going to want to watch it again because there's a lot of stuff way in the background and off in the periphery that you probably will not get the first time through.
Yeah.
I mean, it's that thing where the movie's so good and you watch it again, it's like, okay, it's the Easter egg hunt time.
Yes.
You know, oh, what's that? Oh, I see.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
We kind of see some of the residents of the castle, you know, the soldiers and stuff. And for a little bit, we see a black doctor who's watching one of the patients do a number in blackface.
Yes.
It is. Oof.
Yeah.
And the doctor is clearly not impressed.
No.
We find some of the patients playing cards. We get some like odd snippets of conversation from them. And then the psychiatrist and the doctor are chatting in an office.
Yes.
And the psychiatrist says that the doctor reminds him of someone. Then it's night. We have a patient hitting the stone walls with a steel mallet. This is one of my favorite scenes.
Yes.
I think it's super fun. So the officer from the beginning, who was like trying to get them in line,
right,
comes up and he tries to take away the mallet, and he's like threatening the guy, like, "What are you doing?" And the psychiatrist comes up and scolds him. He says, "Don't touch him." And then he asks what the patient is doing. And the patient explains that he's punishing the Adams for not allowing him to walk through the wall. He's making an example of them.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. It's not, he doesn't say just that.
Right.
Right. He doesn't actually even say that, and then that's it. He goes into a long explanation, a detailed explanation.
Yeah.
Of aligning atoms and how they, you know, this and this lines up and this allowing me to pay. And it's actually, you know, that sounds like a top level explanation to me.
It's very high intelligence.
Yeah. You know, it's not, you know, it's your weird, just senseless bullshit. It had some merit to it.
It did.
Like, okay, I get it. I see what he's doing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know that his action and his expected outcome is going to necessarily achieve what he wanted.
Right.
But the intent is rock solid.
It is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he's very serious about it. He's shape up or ship out. And the psychiatrist gets him to give up the hammer very gently.
Yeah.
You know, he talks to him very calmly.
And that's the thing I think we didn't touch on. So the psychiatrist, when he arrives, is so low key.
He is.
It's almost like you don't expect him to make it through the scene.
Right.
Like the character's got to be on massive amounts of Quaaludes. Right? Because this guy is just, so, what are you doing? Why would you do that?
Right.
Except when he does scold the guy. But even then, he gets louder in volume a little bit.
Well, it's really interesting because it's not so much a volume thing, it's an intensity thing. Like he's very calm and he doesn't, you know, raise his voice or anything. But when the officer is trying to take away the mallet, he just kind of looks at him. He's like, "Do not touch the patients."
Yeah, don't ever touch the patients.
Yeah. And he just kind of looks at him, and the officer looks like he's going to piss himself.
Yeah. Well, I mean, part of that is, you know, when a colonel tells you to do something and you're not a colonel, shit ensues.
True.
All right. So this is the point where I just noted the dialogue is impossible to chronicle. It's too much, too fast, and to give the story surrounding it, to give it the proper punch, is when I just kind of, you know, unless you're watching it, it doesn't make sense. And it doesn't have a point of reference. And the point of reference is everything that's going on visually.
Yeah.
And like I said, it works. It really does work.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, you can't fucking liner note this thing piece by piece, right? So, you know, what you would get from trying to do that is, they're all mental cases of varying degrees. They're all saying random shit. But that's not the truth of it.
Right.
Right? Because each specific character in here, and there's way more than what we listed.
Oh, gosh, yeah.
Right? Every one of these patients has their own particular thing going on. And what they say, just in those few short bits and pieces, it brings you in.
It does.
And then it's not just a bunch of random shit. This is how people talk, and this is their thing going on. So the next day, right, we're at the medic's office, and we're given the attitude of the place by visuals. So like they're panning through, and it's not like you know, there's like, you know, toilet paper hanging over shit and, you know, shit smeared on walls and stuff. It's not that kind of disarray, but it certainly doesn't give you the feel of a military installation. Because one of the things the most hilarious visual for background stuff is when the camera's panning through through the sick bay is the self-service station.
Yes.
There are these giant jars of pills, right? Mm-hmm. And it says self-service, and then and this is written on the wall like in crayon or marker,
like Sharpie. Yeah.
And it has aspirin and an arrow pointing to this jar, and something else pointing to this jar, and something else pointing to this jar. Like, Jesus Christ!
Right? It's not messy, but it's very casual.
Yeah, it goes beyond that. So yeah, that was I love that. Mm-hmm. I love that. All right. So the medic is forced to walk around in his underwear because Frome is wearing his pants, and we find out that all of the medic's other pants are at the cleaners.
Yeah. So he's just walking around in his boxers.
Yeah. And he just doesn't give a shit.
No.
You know, so you think, I remember the first time seeing this, I'm thinking, I wonder if this guy's is he the medic?
Right.
Is anybody here actually in charge? You know, because he's just real casual about it. It's like, well, you know, he's got my pants. I got no more, and I'm not going to go get them from him and then go through this again. What's the point? Right? So that's logical. Yeah. But so was the lining the atoms argument too. So then we have Scott Wilson is Cutshaw, the astronaut fellow from earlier. Mm-hmm. And the one who led the group in song and in formation. And he is making the psychiatrist read his file.
Yes.
That is fucking understating the intensity of the scene.
Yeah. He
so much
bursts into the room.
Yes.
And just starts charging around. It's the psychiatrist's office.
Mm-hmm.
Takes all the files for everyone and just starts throwing them around until he gets to his. And he's like, read it.
Yep, opens it up and starts bam, 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 slapping.
He's talking the whole time too.
Oh yeah, he's talking just nonstop. But his intensity, Jesus Christ, he had to have been exhausted after like almost every scene. You can see the physical intensity he's putting into this.
Yes.
Because it is manic at points.
It is.
Man.
I mean, if you want to compare Scott Wilson's roles, like Cutshaw versus Herschel Green are complete night and day.
Oh, absolutely. Which gives you the perfect framework for the range that he had.
Yeah.
In doing his job.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and the dialogue's super fast and the timing is really good. As you're watching it, there's so much going on, it would be difficult to capture all of this on film as a director.
Yeah.
There's so much movement,
mm-hmm.
and it's very impressive.
Yes.
But it's captured very clearly, and yet you understand that this is chaos.
Yes.
Right? So by the end of the conversation, Cutshaw is accusing the psychiatrist, who we learn is named Kane.
Right.
Of being crazy. And also says that he likes him. So he gives Kane his medal.
Yes.
Which is a Medal of St. Christopher.
Yes.
And on the back, it says, "I'm a Buddhist. In case of emergency, call a lama."
Yes.
So, as he leaves, we get a shot of just him outside of the office, Cutshaw, and he gives a little smile. And for just a second, he looks like he knows exactly what he's doing.
Yes.
And then a dog comes into the room with the psychiatrist, followed by one of the soldiers who is adapting Shakespeare plays for dogs.
Yes.
And he is very serious.
He is absolutely serious about it. Can we talk about this fucking dog for just a second?
I love this dog. I wouldn't want to have it as my dog.
No. How would you even explain this thing?
It looks like a mop head.
I don't think that even comes close, because people say that shit all the time. This thing does look like a big mop head.
Yeah.
Was it a sheepdog?
Maybe.
Originally. But think of a dog with really long hair. Okay. Uh-huh. Everything, all over people, from in front of the eyes and everything. And then imagine somebody turned that whole dog into nothing but a pile of dreads. Right?
Yeah.
That's what this thing looked like. There was not one undread hair anywhere.
Like a classic white mop head.
Yeah. And it was long and everything. Mm-hmm. And when this thing comes sauntering in, that's the first thought is, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Oh, man. And we see this dog a few more times.
We do.
It's kind of a treat.
Yeah.
So, this is where I was making notes, and, very clear. We've already mentioned it, but, when you're watching this far in, it's only a few minutes.
It is.
We're into it by this point. It's very clear it's an art film. And this is the problem with art films, not just this, but every art film. No one segment makes any fucking sense without its preceding and following segments. And that's what makes it hard. Because we had a discussion about, can you imagine being handed this fucking script?
I wouldn't do it.
I wouldn't. If I didn't know anything, if I didn't read the book, I didn't know anything about anything, and say someone handed us this script today, be like, I want fucking nothing to do with this.
Well, I would probably say I love it, but I can't do it.
I wouldn't have made it that far through. That's the thing. See, that's the thing, right? And we know from talking to people that, they're the general Hollywood attitude when looking at a script is it has to follow that formula and it has to be cohesive to them according to that. This kind of weird, fucked up on paper, it's completely random because you don't have the visuals.
Yeah.
Right. And you can only put so much in an action line to try and get the feel. And even writing the script, you don't want to do that because you don't know what you're going to get. Right.
Well, yeah.
In terms of being able to afford for sets.
Right. And it has to be sellable too. Mm-hmm. And the subject matter of this movie, which is the psychological toll of war.
Yeah.
Is not something that people that the mass audience wants to buy into.
Right. And I think that's what we're kind of sidestepping a bit, but I think, well, I mean, you have to with this. We're going to go through it and take these little moments. I think, excuse me, the problem is where, so this was written in 1966.
Yes.
Okay. The troubles of Vietnam were hot and heavy, and they got hotter and heavier through the rest of the 60s.
Yes.
Early 70s, that was all the shit, right? People were jumping all over it. We have the Deer Hunter. We have all this stuff, everything focused on Vietnam. Interestingly enough, by 1980, when this came out, and this is probably why the studios kind of didn't, that fire wasn't underneath it, and why it was, hot potato passed here and there. They just didn't have the fire anymore. Everyone was trying to get away from Vietnam.
Yeah.
Because it was a terrible fucking chapter for us on multiple levels, right? Our treatment of the guys when they came home, and, the fucking abandonment of them. And they were trying to, turn their head away from that shit. And thankfully the 80s actually turned out to be the era of, you better wake the fuck up. These boys are now men.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you can't fucking forget them. They were soldiers, right? So that's a whole different thing. But yeah, it's an intense subject.
Yes.
That has to be taken as a whole, right? And so I went on to, in my notes, it's, if right now today, 2020, if you chose to make a movie like this, okay, this similar, type feel to it, 80% of the general movie public will fucking hate it. They will hate it because it is not the Hollywood formula. 20% left. You get 4 or 5% of people who love it, right? Another 10% who like it a lot, and the rest will just find it, it was good. It was okay film. It was a good film. Because it's got the double dagger in it. It's an indie film. Indie films have their own following, and for right or wrong, some people support indie film no matter what, right? It's like, well, critique goes out the window. It's just indie, go, 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 go. Well,
right.
We critique it, which, is fine. But then you also have it's an art film.
Right.
And I don't know of too many studio produced art films, but, art film is that subgenre of indie. It's kind of like our podcast. Go for the smallest audience you can.
Yes.
All
10 of the people in the world who might serve as our audience.
Yeah.
No.
Well, I mean, because, we're talking to people who like film, but, are primarily interested in making film or just, starting out at it. And this is just shit that, you can learn lessons. And boy, can you learn some fucking lessons from this movie.
Watching it carefully. Yeah.
Yep. And, so those numbers aren't to slam this film. It's to slam this genre of film. Well, not even slam it. The reality. You can make a movie like this, and we encourage you to be as creative as you fucking can, but understand this is the prime example of a movie that is not designed to make a big return.
This movie's a masterpiece.
It is.
But yeah, it's not a tentpole movie, and it's not one that if it were made today that would make money.
And the only reason it started out as a tentpole movie in the pre-production is because they thought, well, this guy gave us The Exorcist, so shit, this could only be better.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not what they got. That's why they kind of ran with it. So anyway, I compared it to MASH, the movie, not the series. It's a well-stitched ensemble piece.
Yeah.
And it is very heavy with the messages of the period that it's portrayed in. So you got to remember this was created in 1966. So he wrote this novel. This is what he's been trying to capture on film. So now it's not a relevant thing.
Right.
Right. It's not a here and now. It's happening. Vietnam War is over several years later. So now it's a period piece. And that helped probably cool the heels of the executives. They're like, well, by this point, Anyway, and the writing is the writing of a film like this is not for everyone. You need to be on top of your shit. You need to be able to assemble the random lines and situations in a very fast order. You need to know how to make one random moment flow into the next seamlessly so that they form a tapestry. Right?
Right.
It's like a quilt work. And everyone's like, well, anyone can take a bunch of fucking squares and sew them together. Well, true, they can. Right?
Mm-hmm.
But no one's going to call it a quilt. They're going to call it this thing that's just randomly sewn together. Because if you ask anyone who makes a quilt, the patterns, every piece of fabric has to flow into the next, even if they're, very opposite in texture and in appearance, right? Yeah. But it's that artist's eye, and you have to be able to do that with words. You have to be able to do that to make it all come together on screen.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, I kept writing notes on the plot.
Yes.
And I do have my thought notes and everything. But, so back to the movie. Cutshaw is talking to the dog director who is insisting that Kane is crazy. And there's a lot of symbolism in the movie.
Yes.
And it's not subtle, but it does take a little teasing and puzzling out because it's very tense and it's very fast and it kind of keeps you wondering who is crazy in this place?
Yes.
Because if everyone is faking it, could you blame them, really? I mean, is Kane crazy? He does seem like the most mellow person in the film,
mm-hmm. but
occasionally he has these very intense moments where people fear him.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's... So Kane is telling Feld that he keeps having a dream that isn't his.
Yes.
He says that it's a dream of a former patient of his who was having this recurring nightmare. And ever since he heard it, he himself dreams it. And the patient was his brother,
mm-hmm.
A macabre legend, a Marine who killed dozens of people with his bare hands. Killer Kane.
Yes. And the medic was like, whoa, no shit, really?
I knew him.
I knew him.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, at this point, the main storyline has to be subtle.
Yes.
And at this point in the film, we're still not quite sure. I mean, we had the voiceover,
mm-hmm.
right, telling us why the basket was put in the field and why they put these people in the basket, basically.
Right.
Okay. But to what real end? Okay, yeah. So they're studying them, but what? For what? What is the desired outcome?
Mm-hmm.
And in a film like this, there is no room for an in-your-face plot.
Well, no.
It's like going to the museum and looking at a painting, right? So even say the Mona Lisa, because everyone goes, I mean, it's the most famous face portrait. So you go and you see a face. Okay. If you truly appreciate art, you don't see the face and that's it. You see the face and it's many, many, many components.
Right. And
you can't get your face up to it anymore because, people do shit to it or did. But, any other piece of art, you look at it. Like I said, I look at what's on there. The bristles, the brush strokes, the colors, no matter what kind of painting it is, or if it's a drawing or if it's a sculpture, especially, mm-hmm. right? And it all has to work, and it does. But if you zoom in on this stuff, right? So if you get like a camera, zoom in on, take a picture of 1 inch square of any painting and then blow it up, to put on a wall poster or something. It's not a painting. It's a cool texture. It's, cool color swirls or whatever that was in that inch. But you don't get the whole picture.
Right.
Right. And you would never guess, what's this little sample of? Or I don't know.
Right.
So the plot has to be little bits and pieces, mostly comprised of the seemingly random shit going on around it.
Yeah.
Okay. So think of all this stuff as like the bread in a sandwich, right? You find out where the sandwich substance is by making your way to the edge of the bread from both sides, right? So you're looking at it from the side. Well, here's the bread. Here's the top going down. Oh, there's a little something there. It's not bread. And then we're back to the bread. So it's putting it together.
Right.
And you need to do this also keeping the viewer's attention.
Yes.
And that is what this film does, because the shit is nonstop.
It's true.
And you don't realize it, like we said in the beginning. It's given to you.
Right away.
You're getting knowledge. You're getting informed.
Yeah.
Right? It's coming together in your head. You don't even know it yet.
Yeah.
You might think, I'm trying to still play catch up.
It's very smart.
Yeah. But don't worry, you'll get it. And then every now and again, there's this little moment to remind them that they are on a path.
Mm-hmm.
Right? But we don't know, is it to the Dalai Lamas or is it to the hot dog hut? We'll see. We'll find out when we get there, but we're on a path. Trust in the path.
Yeah.
Right? And I compared this to MASH because MASH was one of my favorite films. But the problem was it was so overrun with improvisation that I've always thought of it as it could only be called the most lackadaisical directing and producing ever done in a motion picture, because there is actually no story in the film. It's one of those things where they let them just kind of run rampant on the idea of creativity. If you watch MASH, it's like, okay, so this is these guys' lives for however many weeks this movie covers. And they're constantly just fucking around. Things are miserable. Something happens to this guy. Something happens to this guy. Something happens to this guy. But there's no goal. Right?
Right.
And that was kind of part of the genius of it. But again, it was just a bunch of shit happening. And before you know it, the credits are rolling. But I still enjoyed it. I had a lot of fun, and people will always try to argue, well, but they were, fucking with Houlihan and she left. Yeah, but what happened after she fucking left? And Robert Duvall, who played Frank Burns, when he flipped out, well, what fucking happened after he left? The movie didn't end. They just kept on doing their shit. So, it's a lot of different ways you can go. And in watching this again, it just made me think that you can go after this kind of thing. But if it just fucking tanks on you, honestly, don't feel bad, because you gotta have it's got to become a thing on its own. The writing of this was good. At any moment, this could have just fucking fallen apart. Any number of things. We'll talk later about the editing and stuff. Mm-hmm. And it could have just tanked, but the forces were all woven together at the right place at the right time, and it kept its integrity, and bam, because like in this, every character has their thread, and it's consistent with the random encounters with the psychiatrist and the medic and one another. Mm-hmm. Right? Like I said before, you learn that their babbling is very unique to them, says something, it sculpts them, and helps weave their relationship with the other inmates and one another, right? But the interactions of the patients don't add up to anything that propels us forward. It's more just filler.
Right.
To give us more of, and they're kept apart a lot.
The patients.
This. Yeah.
Yeah.
We have our few moments, but interestingly enough, being confined in a castle, we don't spend time on that because that actually isn't the story. Right. Which, you get it. But that's why they only have their 2 to 5 lines. Mm-hmm. 10 seconds on screen, and we're back. Yeah.
So back to the movie.
Back to the movie.
We have the dog director who is asking Kane his opinion. He's in there and he wants some artistic, input.
Right.
He wants Kane's opinion on whether Hamlet is crazy or not, because historians all have different opinions, right?
Yeah.
So he says that his theory is that Hamlet is pretending to be crazy as a coping mechanism to prevent him from actually going crazy.
Right.
If he hadn't pretended to be crazy, he really would have gone crazy. It's kind of a catch-22.
Mm-hmm.
And he's hanging on the brink and kind of like doing all the, I mean, if you know Hamlet.
Yeah. That's kind of an important thing. But even if you don't, you probably do, because so many things have
been based on that story.
Yeah, based on it, and people don't even realize it's Shakespeare happening.
Right?
Yeah.
There are a lot of things that are secretly Shakespeare. Ask any Shakespeare fan.
I love that title.
Secretly Shakespeare?
Secretly Shakespeare.
Huh.
Tune in.
Let's do something with that. Anyway. So Hamlet acting crazy is his way of letting off steam.
Right.
And the more crazy he acts, the less crazy he actually is. Right?
Right.
He's doing his own therapy, basically.
Well, I think in a simple modern term, he's owning it.
Yeah.
You know, because we all have those moments where we feel like we're going out of our fucking mind. Right?
Yeah.
And lately it's more people are having that.
Oh man.
You know. But here's the thing. What does everyone always say? You know, and we've said it, you know, hang on, buckle down, do all this. You know what? This is the alternative to that is just fucking run with it.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, not anything violent or harmful or anything like that.
Right.
Right. But that's just it. None of these guys are in this.
Yeah.
But the whole premise is, you know, if you feel like you need to break into a fucking aria, then break into the aria and, you know, damned be those who watch and judge. Fuck them.
Well, yeah.
You know, own your mental disconnection. And if you're not afraid of it, and that's the whole thing. Hamlet, if he was, you know, to try and hide it, that would make it worse.
Yeah.
Right.
He had a lot going on, man.
You know, and it's often said, if you're thinking of something crazy, say it out loud.
Mm-hmm.
And if it sounds crazy, you're okay.
Right.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. You if you know you're crazy, you can't be crazy. Right. Anyway, Kane agrees with his theory. He thinks that it's great. So the dog director leaves, and as he leaves, Cutshaw pulls him aside and he says, "Did he buy it?" And the dog director goes, "Hell, I bought it." And he kind of looks really introspective for a minute. But for Kane, this is a breakthrough.
Right.
He's gonna just run with it. And so he's gonna indulge the men.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not exactly a montage, but it's a lot of small scenes. I just call it's not a montage because they all are really in depth in what they're doing, but they're short. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Usually, yeah, a montage is a bunch of things to move us forward in the story.
Right.
Based on like the, you know, 80s building the restaurant, cleaning it up, or rebuilding the car, or some long protracted thing.
Right.
And it's not always dialogue. I mean, I'm sure there are some. Every time I think of montage, I just think, you know, down, and some sort of fucking 80s pop song. And they're, you know, smiling with their ass tight gym shorts on, men and women.
Yeah.
And their knee high fucking socks with the 3 color bands at the top. And they're just, you know, and next thing you know, you have this magical outcome from people who have no fucking quantifiable skills other than montage magic.
Yeah.
No, this is
like
relevant.
Technically it is a montage because it is a lot of short scenes put together to explain a concept of like him indulging the men. But it's kind of like a long form.
Well,
montage.
yeah, but
it's really interesting to watch.
We see it happening.
Yeah.
And they're individual from one another. That's where I pull it out of the montage thing. I mean, potato.
Like all the men are pretending to be prisoners of the Nazis and all the guards are forced to dress up like the Gestapo.
Yeah.
And and so the soldiers, the patients are planning this great escape dig. It looks like fun, honestly. There's the dog director who at the last time we saw him, he only had the one dog, Moppy.
Right.
I'm calling him Moppy.
Okay. Moppy.
He is auditioning tons of dogs for Shakespeare.
Yeah.
The painter gets a lift to paint around the castle.
Yep.
And there's someone with a jetpack.
That was the best.
It was great.
They're having a conversation on this scene. All of a sudden, you're, and this guy just slowly flies through the hallway on a jetpack. Actually flying, right?
It's not actually flying, yeah.
Not like he's on a gurney and they're pretending. He's flying this jetpack slowly through the scene. Everyone just kind of stops and watches him go by. And then you hear,
yeah.
And then they go back to talking.
And I can't remember, actually, I've seen this movie a few times, but one of the patients thinks he's a superhero. He wears like a shirt that's got a big S on it.
Yeah.
Or something.
Yeah.
And I don't know if it's him that flies the jetpack.
No. Because remember, he's in with the dog director.
Oh,
and
right.
He keeps trying to convince him that, there needs to be a superhero in Hamlet.
Oh, you're right. You're absolutely right. And the fake Dr. Frome.
Yeah.
He has a whole medical staff following him around.
Yeah. Well, and we see him after the jetpack crash.
Yes.
All of a sudden we see him fly by and his orderlies behind him. But staff.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they're wheeling the guy back. And it's hilarious because they're just in between all this. They're just carrying on this conversation. Yeah. And the dog director is really animated. And, the superhero guy, I was really thinking, God damn it, don't bring that up again. And then everyone stops. They're wheeling the jetpack crash victim past.
Yes. It's amazing.
It is. One of the things about this movie is the editing. And we've talked about other movies where editing made all the difference in the world.
Yeah.
This fucking is fast and furious. And it has to be.
Yes.
Right? And like I said before, if even one more second of this was given, one more second was given to any particular scene, would probably ruin the film completely. When you watch it afterwards, because when you're in it, you're in it. You can't be analyzing. The reason we can deep analyze this is we've had years to think about it.
Well, I've seen it multiple times. I know
Right.
you've seen it at least one time. Possibly twice, 3 times?
This is the 3rd time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just keep making you watch it.
I know. Well, we watched it on, it's on Amazon.
It is on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So if you got Prime, it's free. But we have it on DVD. That's one of the reasons we didn't watch it much because, it's busting out DVDs is a thing.
I know, but occasionally I get an itch to watch this movie.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So anyway, it has, the editing is perfect. It has to be fast and furious, and it has to be it borders on disorienting.
Yeah.
Right? It pushes right up against that edge. Manic environments with manic characters cannot linger on the screen too long.
Right.
That's the secret to this and the fucking success and genius of it. If they do linger, they become uninteresting. Right? Manic is like, it's like the roller coaster. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You got to go up and then down. That down dive is that manic, out of fucking control feeling. Right?
Yeah.
But if it's up, down, like constantly, you go down, you go up, you go down, you go up, you go down. By the 5th thing, you're like, right?
Right.
You gotta, ooh, that was something. Boom, boom, do the whirlies, ooh, there's a loop. That's pretty good. But then another dive. There you go. You got to capture that feeling. If it's too much or too long,
mm-hmm.
right? And then it's just like, that's no good. And that's what happens with characters. They become uninteresting. Oh, good. Now he's talking about why he fucking feels like he feels. And he's not really like part of the story.
Right.
But someone felt the need to explain his presence. Anyway, so that doesn't happen here, right?
Right.
And cutting the scenes to envelop each performance almost as its own brings them to life in a way that backstory, the story itself, or some soliloquy ever could.
And they do it really convincingly. Like, I want to see his place with the dogs.
Right?
You know?
Yeah. And we don't really know why he landed here on the dog thing in
Right.
Shakespeare, right? Don't want to, don't need to. It's not important. He is much more interesting of a character. And this goes back to what we've talked about before. My firm belief, too much detail, which is like the thing these days, fucking murders the story. It makes the characters boring, dull, drab, beyond normal.
Well, I do love his reasoning because he's not directly asked why, but he does at one point say, well, someone has to do it.
Right.
That's his reasoning.
But if this were a 2020 film being done right now, right, someone would be like, no, you need to rewrite this. We need to know why. Why is he there? What's his motivation? Who is he? Where does he come from? Why is he in the script?
Right.
Go fuck yourself. You know? And one thing about watching this movie, it makes you fucking uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Physically and mentally uncomfortable, because there's this crazy world that is full of fucking sound and buzzing and just, it's non-fucking stop. This first part of the film. Constant sounds. And none of them weave together. That's the thing, right? It's not like an orchestra of sound where it's like, well, yeah, you can listen to 40 different instruments, but they're all like, you know, this is jarring, random bullshit. But here's the thing. It's supposed to do that. Because to bring you into this crazy fucking world, your discomfort helps you breathe the air of the castle, right? Mm-hmm. You get a sense of not only what is it like to be Kane, the psychiatrist in the midst of this, but you actually get the feeling of what it is to be one of these guys. Right. Right. And you feel the angst and in their words and, you know, the angst of the sane people trying to get through to them. You know, everybody's on the right page according to themselves. Yeah. This kind of thing. And for me, the urgent desperation for understanding that the patients have, particularly Cutshaw. Yes. And it's funny because we say he's screaming and he's just like, whoa, you know, larger than life. Yes. But you get it. In all of that, you're like, the guy's, there's something he needs understood. I don't even know if he knows. He's desperate to be understood. And I always thought, you know, maybe his desperation to be understood is so that when someone understands him, then he can understand. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's that doesn't matter where in the ocean you put the buoy. The fact is you got a fucking buoy. It's a point of reference. Right. That's all he needs. You know? But anyway, the constantly moving visuals, rapid fire of scenes, random dialogue, and then the many ambient sounds of voices, jackhammers, jets, wind, thunder, and hundreds of other sounds. Dogs. Yeah. Just skull fuck you. They run a train on your fucking brain. And it works. Yeah. You know, personally, I like that in a movie. It's immersive. I like feeling claustrophobic in a horror movie. Or a thriller when the scene is trying to, you know, present that to me. And it doesn't necessarily mean a guy in a box. Right. Right. But I like feeling the desperation. The character or somebody is trying to, you know, when it's done well, it makes me feel this way. I can feel their, you know, how everyone's abandoning them. No one will believe them, you know, and it's not like, you know, fucking Scooby-Doo. Yeah, it's a guy in a haunted house and da-da-da-da-da. You know, some stupid plot that will get you that. Something that's well thought out. And then they were stuck in a weird castle with a bunch of other crazies. Yeah. You know, and for like, how long have they been there? And, you know, I mean, you just don't get what's going on. But yeah, it brought me in and it did what some of these other good movies have done, which is I get to feel that particular moment and identify with it. Not because I'm losing my fucking mind, But by this point, I'm in such a manic state in my head from this visual and audio assault of all of this shit going on, trying to piece it together too.
I know.
You make that sudden connection, bam. God, I think I've got my shit together, and this is what I feel like. What do these poor fuckers feel like?
Yeah.
Because this is what they're doing. They're trying to piece shit together one moment to the next in their day.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it's does a superb job of bringing you in.
Yeah. So we have another conversation between Kane and Cutshaw, and every conversation that they have starts out with Cutshaw like kicking the door into his office,
I love his
Wild
entrances.
West saloon style, right?
And plaster falling from the ceiling.
Yeah, because he kicks it so he wants to make an entrance.
Yep.
Every single time they talk.
And it works.
It does. Yeah, it gets his attention. But in this one, Cutshaw seems to see like directly through Kane. You know? And he's more interested in learning about him than talking about himself.
Right.
Because Kane has tried to get him to talk about why he won't go to the moon. And Cutshaw just like completely switches the conversation.
Yes.
Right? Completely redirects it. His frequent burst-ins are geared towards riling Kane up, but they don't work.
No, Captain Quaalude is just like riding it through.
Yeah. Cutshaw will like kick the door in, plaster falls down, and he'll announce something, you know, like, why won't you take me to the beach?
Yeah.
And Kane is just like, hi, Cutshaw.
Every interaction with Cutshaw is like we just came in at the tail end of something. Only, you know.
It's the beginning.
Yeah. You know, it's like wherever he goes, he's just ending something.
Yes.
Don't know what the beginning was, but yeah, I love it.
So they start to talk about theology. And there's a lot of really interesting dialogue in here, but I don't want to go too deep into it.
Right. It wouldn't do it justice.
It wouldn't.
And there's not, again.
It's really beautifully written.
It is. And as much talking as we've done, we haven't come up to any kind of setup.
Right.
For it. It just wouldn't work.
So, but specifically they're talking about God's plan and whether it's worth the pain of every suffering creature that ever lived.
Right.
Right? Is this plan worth it? Whatever it is.
Right.
If it is.
Yeah.
Right? And Kane is saying, well, how come, you know, all the bad stuff in the world, you know, convinces you that there is no God? But how come all the good stuff in the world can't convince you that there is? Right? And so they begin to talk about like the sacrifices that people make for others, that kind of thing. And Cutshaw wants an example of a true sacrifice, specifically one that Kane knows of personally. Mm-hmm. Because Kane is spitting out all these like hypothetical situations that aren't out of the realm of possibility. They're things that, you know, like probably have happened.
Right.
You know, and Cutshaw's like, no, someone that you know personally.
Right.
Right? I want a real life example. And Kane doesn't have one. So then Cutshaw just demands to go to mass the next day.
Yeah.
And leaves.
Next day, Sunday. They're taking me to mass.
Yep. And he shows up in like a comical like Sunday best outfit.
Well, he's got his army shirt, well, his Marine.
Yeah.
He's got the shirt underneath and stuff, but he's wearing a dress over it. It's a Sunday.
Right.
Nice.
The big bow.
Yeah. And yeah, it's a nice Sunday 50s, early 60s style.
Yeah.
Sunday dress.
Mm-hmm.
Church dress.
Yep.
And
he almost dares Kane to say something about his outfit too.
I know, the look at him. Yes.
Well, where would I want? In the church that day, there is a sign that Kane sees that says, I have given you an example. And it's right after their conversation about an example.
Yep.
And we get a brief moment where he hallucinates an altar boy as a Vietnamese boy.
Kane.
Yeah, Kane.
Yeah.
And it very deeply disturbs him.
Yes.
And afterwards, Cutshaw, in the car ride back, asks almost casually, or it's not in the car ride, but it's just after Mass.
Right.
Cutshaw asks, if you die first and there's life after death, will you give me a sign? And Kane says that he'll try.
Yeah. The relationship between these two is at this point in the movie, the manic starts to back off a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Just a little. Because now this is actually the longest scene with just the two of them.
Yes.
At this point, right? And there's one of the most poignant lines that establishes the relationship between them is I call it the Cutshaw moment. Is when he storms in the psychiatrist's office with one of his rants. He ends up leaning over the desk, saying, "Who are you?" And then he, does it again. "Who are you?" And the look on his face and the glare in his eyes, it's Scott Wilson was so masterful.
Yeah.
At presenting. You can see and feel that he's not just asking to ask. This isn't part of his usual diatribe of bullshit.
No.
Right? He sees something. He knows something. But like everything else in his life, he can't put a fucking finger on it.
Yeah.
He can't nail it down, but he knows there's something.
Right.
Something real.
Yeah.
And he needs to know.
Mm-hmm.
The verbal volleyball between these two carries a lot of impactful statements and observations on the human condition.
Oh, yeah.
And this bit here at the end of church is, Cutshaw normally doesn't make any fucking sense, but he makes perfect sense if you listen.
Oh, yeah.
Right, which is why you can't have it on his background noise. He's dialing in on Kane. Yeah. And he's allowing us to dial in on him.
Yeah.
Right? So we're starting to get a sense of what's important to him. And that kind of lets us think of, so where could this be going?
Yeah. So Feld, the medical doctor.
Yes.
After they come back from church, he invites Kane to breakfast. And Kane's like, well, what is it? And Feld says something. I can't remember what exactly the breakfast is.
Yeah.
But it's Kane's favorite meal. And he's like, that's my favorite. And Feld's like, oh, great. And but Kane's had he's just seen that, he's just hallucinated that altar boy at church.
Yes.
And he wants to go take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the guards comes up, one of the officers. I call them guards, but they're not guards. It's because they're dressed in Gestapo uniforms. But one of the officers comes up to let him know that a new inmate has come in. And throughout the movie, Kane has had, we've skipped past a lot of like little details and stuff.
Yeah.
But Kane has had flashbacks throughout the movie.
Right.
And the guy who shows up is the same man who's been in Kane's flashbacks, in Vietnam, yelling at him, right?
Right.
And the new patient recognizes him as Killer Kane.
Right. Not the brother of Killer Kane.
Right.
But
Killer Kane himself. Mm-hmm. And we get the full scene now, not just parts of the flashbacks.
Right.
As Kane is remembering this, he's in the jungle holding the severed head of a Vietnamese boy.
Mm-hmm.
And he yells, and then he gets back, we see him back at camp. Yeah. There's been some mixed up paperwork confusing him with another Colonel Kane.
Right. Who happens to be
a psychiatrist.
A psychiatrist.
Yeah.
So he's given orders to go stateside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then back in the present, Kane faints.
Yeah.
And then we see Cutshaw, who must have heard about this.
It's gotten around by this time.
Yeah.
Because people witnessed this.
Yeah. He is in Kane's office, smashing the fuck out of this place.
Mm-hmm.
He is furious. And he spends some time going through.
Yeah.
And you can see that this is not like, if he were acting, this is not an act, right?
It is a solid demonstration of a man who, however reluctantly and however long it's taken, has started to build foundations again. Because that whole, like I said, the church that was, we're like,
right.
Cutshaw's starting to fucking learn how to, park between the lines again.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's all bullshit. Everything you believed in and hoped for and clung to, right?
Yeah.
You looked to this, your guiding light, all of a sudden is just pure bullshit.
Yeah.
A fucking lie. And he doesn't miss a beat.
No. And there's a really poignant moment in this scene where he stares at the empty chair that Kane is usually sitting in, and he just says, "I needed you."
Yeah.
Kane wakes up with Feld, and Kane doesn't remember the new inmate. Because Feld, do you remember what happened?
Yeah, he's got short-term amnesia. That whole thing, just mental block.
Yeah, and Feld seems to be disappointed that Kane doesn't remember what happened. And then we kind of get a little very short outside a car, and it looks like the car that Kane showed up in.
Right. Well, I think it's the only car there.
Probably. Crashes through the gate, going away from the castle, and it's Cutshaw driving.
Yes.
So
he's made a run for it.
Yes.
And nobody goes after him.
No.
So at this point, in all, there's not one normal person in this fucking movie.
No.
You get that, and the varying degrees of just how fucked up each and every person is serves to me as a statement of humanity in general, right? What is crazy compared to sanity? I mean, we this is a philosophical conversation we're not going to get into here, right? But this has been going on for eons.
Well, yeah.
Right? And Hamlet.
Yeah.
What's insanity? And what's sanity? And who's in a position to make a qualified judgment of either?
I mean, even at the time that Hamlet came out, people were debating, is he really crazy, or does he know exactly what the fuck he's doing?
Exactly.
Right?
And some of it is a parody, because everything Shakespeare did was a parody, even his, tragedies. There's a parody of especially royalty. Mm-hmm. But, are we all crazy? And some are not able to contain it or control it as well as others? Is anyone really qualified to look into the depths of another's mind and make a determination as to their competency? Right? Because we talk about it in a joking level. We want to, we want to be 100% involved in this industry where there's no guaranteed paycheck.
That's not even crazy.
It's not even a gig economy, right? It's not even a gig thing. It's you're going to make money or you're not. And you can go 2, 3, 5, 10. There are stars who've gone fucking a decade with not a penny from Hollywood.
Yeah.
Trying to cobble their shit together on the outside, and then bam, they get a job again. Right. So, we always say that we're not mentally fit for the normal world.
Yeah.
We're mental defectives. There's something wrong with someone who's like, I want instability, insecurity, unsurety. And for someone like me, who's like an anal retentive Hun, when it comes to planning, how many diagrams did I make in this fucking office before I moved a single piece of furniture around?
At least 12.
And everything was measured to its
to
exact,
the inch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I made models and, yeah. But this is what I want to do.
Yeah, I know.
So what the fuck is wrong with me? But Are you in a position to judge me or my stand or to analyze it?
Not at all.
That's the question I think that this movie really brings out. You know?
Right.
And the thing is, all of these people could easily have been mistaken for some of our most eccentric figures throughout history here and in other countries, right? Ancient and recent.
Yeah.
And, it takes place in a castle.
In the Pacific Northwest.
Right. Now, there are fake castles here. There are a few that very rich people, had built. And there's a couple that were built by they ended up being hermits. Right. Mm-hmm. And now they're like little museums, because this was a long time ago. And they had some secret rooms and little corridors and stuff. But they weren't true castles,
Yeah.
hundreds of years old. But people were like, oh, I'm going to build my castle.
Yeah.
And stuff. But anyway, it's this is a human nature movie.
Yeah.
That, folks, watch this. You're going to have so many fucking conversations with people if you watch it in a group.
Oh my gosh.
What a way to spend a weekend.
Hey, you're looking for something to do while you're in quarantine.
Get like 10 people to watch this. Don't
do a virtual watch party.
Yeah. Well, no, don't do a virtual watch party. Everyone sit down, agree. Okay, we're going to sit down at 7 and watch it. And then at, 9:30, we're going to hop on and talk.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you don't want people getting, distracted from this.
That's true.
Everyone watch it and then pick a time where you can sit and all talk about it. And Sunday will fucking come fast before you know it.
So we get Feld back to the movie.
Back to the movie.
So we get Feld explaining to the rest of the officers, right? Mm-hmm. That when Kane cracked and the paperwork got mixed up, he suppressed the Kane who was the killer, mm-hmm. and started to really believe that he was the better brother.
Right.
So they were kind of experimenting to see if they could come up with an answer, and they just let it happen. They chose to let him believe that, chose to let him come here and pretend to be a psychiatrist.
Right. Well, because he mentioned he somehow was talking to a patient when he came back. Mm-hmm. Because this is the phenomenon that they discovered, is that he was talking to a patient and made a breakthrough.
Yeah.
And they're like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah, he was good at being a fake psychiatrist.
Yeah. It's like nobody else could get through this fucking guy, and in minutes.
Yeah. He
had him like back down to earth, and so they're like, well, let's do something with this.
Yeah. So they theorized that his only hope, Kane's only hope, was to wipe away the guilt and cure himself by a saving act, curing other people having the same problems. Not the same, but
Right.
So they wanted to let him continue his treatment, and they said that they're going to let him continue his treatment here as the psychiatrist. Mm-hmm. And they're going to explain to the other inmates that they were mistaken. He's not Killer Kane. It was just an oopsie.
Right.
Right. But we also learned that Feld is actually Hudson Kane, Vincent Killer Kane's brother.
Yep.
So now we know we have all those long looks and,
Right. And at that moment establishes Kane where he is in his head, because he doesn't recognize the guy.
Right.
Right.
He does not recognize his brother.
No. He
only thinks that he says, you remind me of someone.
Yeah. Yeah. You're very familiar. You remind me of someone. Mm-hmm. So the reveal kind of reinforces what I said before. So who's the fucking mental case and who's the, sane one, and who gets to call anyone by any of those terms?
Right.
Where does it come from? And it's also an interesting thing. It's not an attack on psychiatry, but it is an attack on, to me, it's an attack on all the studies that are going on anywhere that have gone on, right? Everybody's always studying something. Mm-hmm. you can observe and you can do your studies and you can surmise and suppose and come up with all this stuff. But you're never going to fully understand what it is to go through that and what, you know what I mean?
Right.
And it's not minimizing. It's just that it's that last step that I don't think people should be so bold. And that's what I thought of watching this, the medic / true psychiatrist,
Mm-hmm.
We thought this would be, something that we want to study and this and that. See, because you don't fucking get it, buddy. You don't get it. You're here in the castle. It's your own brother. You don't have the first fucking clue where he is.
Right.
What's going on, or why is he so able to dial into these guys?
Well, yeah, and I think that he knows that he does, he's aware that he has no idea why this is working, right?
Oh, yeah, as the character, yeah.
And it is at this point that the movie in pace slows down quite a bit.
Just before this, the brakes are put on.
Yeah. Because
now we're dealing with Kane's situation, his brother, Cutshaw taken off.
Yeah.
Right? But we don't have people storming in. We don't have everyone else. Everything just is now way back in the rafters.
Right.
This is where, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Yeah. So we see Cutshaw and he's at a bar. And the bikers from the beginning of the movie are there. And it seems to be like their hangout.
Mm-hmm.
And one of them recognizes him as the astronaut. And it's kind of interesting, actually, that they connect it, because one of them vaguely recognizes him, and then he mentions, there's like a nut house for military somewhere around here. But Cutshaw wasn't in combat, right?
Right. Well, his situation was weird.
He's the only one there who wasn't in combat.
And that was one of the
odd things, and
that's brought up.
Yeah.
At one point is, what's his deal?
Right. Almost like they put him there as a control or something.
Well, no, because he was doing the same thing they were.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, what brought it on in him?
Right.
This is like PTSD
for
all these other guys who have been in combat.
But he wasn't in combat.
Yeah, he never saw combat.
Yeah. So they go to talk to him, and it actually turns violent pretty fast because they're very aggressive.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not having it. I mean, he's not a pushover.
Right.
He's not aggressive towards them, but he's not letting them just push him. He's like, fuck you.
Right.
And they start kind of like passing him around like a beach ball.
Yeah, in a circle and bouncing him back and forth.
Yeah. Hitting him, humiliating him. And he reacts kind of by egging them on.
Yeah.
Like he's trying to provoke them.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like genuinely beating him. It's wildly uncomfortable to watch.
It is.
One of the waitresses goes into the bathroom to try calling the asylum, right? The castle. And she gets through, and Kane shows up at the bar because he took the call.
Yeah.
And he tries to leave with Cutshaw, and he's his calm, collected self, But the bikers stop him, and they try to humiliate him, but he's really only interested in getting Cutshaw out.
Mm-hmm.
So he kind of he's just doing whatever they want him to do.
Right. He just wants out.
Yeah. They're telling him, say things, like shit about Marines.
Marines
and stuff.
suck.
Right.
I just want to say real quick, these fucking bikers.
They're
oh my God. Talk about like super trope.
They're very trope.
Oh, these guys are brainless. And this is funny. When he takes his sunglasses off, they're glam.
Yeah.
And it reminded me of And I can't help wonder if they borrowed it because that whole look was a very big deal in Australia, Mad Max.
Okay.
And then they really went wild with it in Road Warrior. But yeah, the whole thing of these hard-ass bikers wearing eyeliner, right?
With wingtips.
Yeah, with wingtips. And, a couple of them looked like they had borderline cat eyes ready to go, And in the meantime, they're, wearing their piss-covered, ratty-ass,
leather vests and
jean and leather and stuff. And everything that's stereotypical about it.
Yes.
But I remember the first time he took his glasses off, I was like... But how they act, too.
Yeah.
I mean, talk about just, I don't know, fucking, It made the scene all the more frustrating.
It's very frustrating. So they get frustrated with Kane not, putting up a fight.
Right.
And they start to pass him around, too. And they kind of push Cutshaw off to the side. And he's watching this happen. The same humiliations put on Kane now. And he's pretty troubled by it. And he sees that Kane, isn't fighting back. Which just keeps angering them.
Right.
Right? And keeps heaping more on Kane.
And to me, it was his eyes. It made, as he saw what was going on, it's like he that conversation they had.
Right.
What about the guy who sacrifices himself?
Yeah.
Well, it's just killing yourself. Okay, but what about the guy who, does this and does this, for the sake of others, kills himself to avoid doing that or stays on the sinking ship or some, example.
Right.
So it's an example of what is sacrifice.
Right.
And Kane was trying to explain it to Cutshaw and he was just like, it's just bullshit. And I think this is the moment to me when Cutshaw he saw it.
Yeah.
Kane's like, you know what? It's not ego. It's not pride. I just want you the fuck out of here. And, doing this thing isn't important. What's important is getting you out of here safely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Kane is just letting them, do whatever to him.
Yeah.
Until they kind of get bored and angry with him and they pin Cutshaw down.
Yeah.
And Kane finally loses it. And he very violently kills every single biker.
Every fucking one of them.
All of them.
Yep.
And there's 30 of them.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, the real Dr. Kane
right.
is talking to law enforcement and he's just refusing to let go of Vincent.
Back at the castle after this has all happened.
Yeah, he's basically, you're not fucking going, and they're trying to leave the room, and the staff sergeant or the master sergeants, staff sergeants close in on the door with that look like, motherfucker, do you honestly, you're in the middle of a Marine camp.
Yeah.
You're not doing anything we don't want you to do. So then we get to Vincent and Cutshaw, and Vincent's sitting on a chair covered in a blanket. And everything is different now.
Yeah.
Cutshaw is not at all the person that we've seen.
No.
Throughout this whole film. He's reserved and respectful. He's calm and sane.
Mm-hmm.
Vincent asks him, why he won't go to the moon. And this is where Cutshaw gets truly emotional, not ranting like before, but with as much energy gets emotional. It's because he's afraid. And it's this whole beautiful thing about
it is
all that space. It cold, lonely, far from home. He's not afraid. He's afraid of not being able to get back. He doesn't want to die alone. And that's his biggest fear. And this is something that's revealed that we've been wondering what else is going on in this film. This is also one of the quietest moments of the film. There's no noise. There's no background shouts from the inmates. And
there's no jackhammering.
There's nothing. In fact, I don't even think there's a hard rain.
No.
Right? So he doesn't want to, or his big thing is, what if there's no God?
Right.
You know, he goes on this whole big thing. I've orbited I've orbited home, meaning Earth.
Yeah.
You know, many, many times, and I always wondered, what if I just never came back down? But then, you know, I'm alone, and it's just me and God. But what if there's no God? What if I'm on the moon, and there's no God? Then I'm alone.
Right.
That's really alone. You know, cold, deep, dark space, and away from everyone and everything. And then there's no God to be there with you. And that's it. You know, I don't know. Some people will just piss that off as whatever, but I think that's a massively emotional thing for every human being to confront.
Well, it is. And it explains why Cutshaw was so insistent on making Kane prove to him
that, God and, you know, what is this all about?
Yeah.
Right. And I can say from experience, I've known a lot of people who wanted nothing to do with their family or friends later on in life, okay, for whatever reasons. And, you know, basically pissed on the concept of God and everything. But in their last 2 or 3 hours, you know, I would get a phone call and they want someone there to be with them. This is in terms of pastoral care. They want someone to be with them as they go.
Right.
At that last moment. And some people don't do that, right? It's whatever. But to me, it's a very human thing on what do you consider being alone? And do we want to die alone? Do we want to be alone? Because people confuse being alone with being lonely.
Right.
Right? I don't know. That was massive.
Yeah.
And I thought, man, that's a pretty simple thing, but it's huge. And the weight of what has been on his shoulders.
Yeah.
That fear, you know, it had such a tangible reality. It was unbelievable. You know, so, where are we?
Kane's response.
So, yeah, Kane's response is Kane wants to show him that there is a God, and maybe his example can cure the others too. And all of a sudden he starts to begin to slur his words. And it's weird because he's done this before where he just kind of like, I'm too chilled. And then he's out, right? Like it's happened a couple times where he just, you know, just fades off. So at first you're just like, well, I get it. He's had a big day.
Right.
Emotionally, mentally, right? Seems to fall asleep. Cutshaw grabs his medallion that Kane is wearing.
Yeah.
Right.
He leaves it there. He just
kind of like grabs it, rubs it with his thumbs, looks at it, and he sets it back down nicely.
Yes.
Right. And then he leaves. After he leaves, we see Kane's hand drop out from behind or from under the blanket.
Yeah.
And it's holding a knife. And it's dripping blood.
Yeah.
And he drops the knife.
Which, that was one of the sounds that you hear in the scene. One of the only sounds is this like occasional dripping. And
right.
You think that it's rain.
Right.
Like a light rain. But it isn't.
No, it's him bleeding out.
Yeah.
Because he cut himself. Stabbed himself.
Well, yeah. Or he cut his wrists or something. So Cutshaw on the stairs outside because he leaves. He pauses and then he realizes what just happened.
Right.
And he rushes back in. And then we see the men downstairs. There's the officers and the police down there. And the patients who are asking what's going on, and they're trying to figure out where Cutshaw is. And as they're all chatting, Cutshaw is carrying Kane's body down the stairs,
right,
crying. So, yeah, we get a little bit of an epilogue.
Yeah, it's a little while later.
Yeah, sometime later, Cutshaw, and he's dressed really nicely. He's in full uniform.
He's in his dress khakis.
Yeah,
his hair's cut. He's proper.
Yep.
Military presentation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And someone's driving him to the castle. And he kind of goes in and takes a look around, and it's empty now.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like it's been empty for a while.
Yeah.
And these scenes toward the end, they're so quiet and slow. And that's really nice because this film comes at you hard and fast and like...
Yes, it does.
And so these really slow scenes at the end, and I mean like really slow.
Yeah.
As they're going on, you're in your head, you're like piecing everything together still.
Yep.
You know, in reverse.
Right.
It's a really interesting sensation having that all kind of gel and come to cohesion. Right.
Well, and it's nice. And you feel it because as you're looking on the screen, you realize what's going on here isn't all, I mean, there's not a lot.
Right.
Right. It's just like, it's like watching a duck swim in a pond.
Yeah.
After you've just had like the craziest fucking 30 minutes of your life.
Mm-hmm.
And you like walk to the edge of some water. All this shit's going on. And it's not like you're lost in thought and you don't see anything.
Yeah.
You just look at this duck and you're just like, oh. That's just the thing I need. And Cutshaw, yeah, through this whole rest of the closing of the film, is just very slow,
mm-hmm.
very reflective.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah. So Cutshaw he ends up sitting in the windowsill in Kane's old office. Mm-hmm. And he pulls out what is Kane's suicide note?
Yeah.
To him specifically. And it essentially explains that Kane wanted to provide him with the one example of true sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So Cutshaw leaves and we have a little bit of an exchange between him and the driver, you know? And the driver's like, oh, I heard that the doctor here was a maniac killer. And Cutshaw's like, no, he was a lamb.
Yep.
And he gets in the back of the car and he finds his St. Christopher medal.
Yes.
Which we, take to mean it's a sign from Kane because we know it was on Kane.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
A sign from Kane of life after death.
Yeah.
And then we roll credits.
Then we roll credits.
We did it!
Okay. We've talked about most of this film through it.
Yes.
Because, like I said, that's all right. That's the only place I could put my head. I think the reason that this should be seen is because I think it's one of the examples of an art film that, regardless of where the funding came from in the beginning and what it was slated for, right? This is a perfect example of how you can make it work. And when you watch it as a writer or a director, you're going to look at this and be like, oh, can I do that?
Yeah.
I mean, it's a natural thing. You should be. If you're not, then you probably can't. Right? Because you should always be asking yourself, oh, can I pull that kind of shit off? Right? Because one thing I've always told her, and she was kind of surprised the first time I said it to her, because we're talking about performing, and this is when she saw Alma, and remember her first little performance, her first little school performance, she was so nervous.
Oh my gosh.
And I instead of, I think it's totally wrong to tell people, oh, you've got this, don't be nervous, do this. I told her, always be nervous. Always be nervous when you're going to do a performance, because if you're nervous, you're going to be thinking about it, and it's overcoming the nervousness while you're performing. And nervousness, actually, it's one of those things when your brain is in a settled state, you don't think of stuff, right? Our brains are wired to fucking deal with panic. And this is, because in Mother Nature, when everything's mellow and flat, something's wrong.
Well, yeah.
That's when you should be like, but, just always be nervous, because nervous makes you think of, I want to give a good performance, so I'm going to really focus. I want my fans to, do this. I use, Alma as an example, when she's, nervous when she goes up there, and that just reinforces in her.
Right.
I'm going to go do a good job. Not, I can do this. I can do this.
Right.
There's a big difference between I can do this and I'm going to do this. So when you see this film, you should be nervous about, could I make this work? Of course, my advice is try it, right? Don't let it scare you, but let it motivate you. Give it a shot. I mean, shit. I think we need more movies like this.
I really do. My favorite movies, just ever in general, are movies that after we're done watching them, you and I just can't stop talking to each other.
Yep.
Not even necessarily about the plot of the movie itself, but about a concept that it brought up and made us think about.
Right.
Well,
because anyone could talk about a movie. I mean, we could go, we could have just met right now on our way into a movie theater, right? First date,
right.
Maybe had 3 minutes of conversation. Okay. We could spend the next 5 hours talking about a movie. That's not hard.
Right.
It doesn't mean the movie's good. It just means these people are particularly interested in talking in depth about this film. But yeah, the concepts and stuff, those movies, those are the good ones.
Yeah.
Because you leave the movie right away.
You do.
And yeah, we've had, I don't know how many into the night, long hours over the years. I haven't clocked it, but we've got a lot.
Yes, we do.
Because that's where our headspace is. And it's awesome to find something to, boom. So here's something I didn't really ever think about on a daily basis, Yeah. And then the back and forth of it. Yeah. And this does it. Holy shit.
It really does.
And that's why I said we need more art films like this.
And I think I could talk to someone just like endlessly about this movie. It's like Fear and Loathing, which you and I have seen a combined number of like 800 million times, I think.
Yes. And it's a little bit different because we talk about the movie. We talk about Hunter Thompson and his life, in total.
Yeah.
Not just what's depicted there. But there's some basic philosophy that he had on life.
Yeah. That
we've talked at length about outside of the parameters of the movie.
Yeah.
From years before that ever became a thing and years after when that faded away. Right.
Yeah. And there's philosophy of his that has made me like, when I learned about it, it's made me grow as a person. Mm-hmm. Right. And this movie, The Ninth Configuration, I know when I watched it, it made me think things that made me grow as a person. Mm-hmm. And those are my favorites. Mm-hmm. And if you have an idea that, is like this, right? It's really hard to talk about, right? And it's really hard to write about, and it's really hard to film, but it's really good.
It is.
Then, make it.
It's a challenge. Yeah. It's kind of like the mockumentary thing we talked about last episode. Mm-hmm. Documentaries can be inexpensive and easy to make. Something like Tiger King and Making a Murderer goes on for fucking years. That's not easy.
Right.
And not cheap. But, a documentary is something anyone can do to start with. And just, simple, like I talked about, simple bullshit. An art film is something people can do. Start with short film. Start in a short form format, right? And we've seen a lot of this watching the Riff Track shorts.
Oh gosh.
I honestly, folks, I never in my life would have guessed how many fucking short films there were about fucking trees from the 40s and 50s.
I know.
What was the so boring. Jesus Christ. I don't know how the Riff Tracks guys were able to even sit through it the first time to come up with what they were going to riff.
These shorts, they're rough.
Oh my fucking God.
They're tough to get through.
Oh, that's an understatement. You know, I would count those as art films because I don't know if it didn't inform me of jack shit.
Well, a lot of them were
You know.
supposed to be almost like PSAs or like how you should behave in society. And
I thought that was the gas station owner.
they were like, some of them, a lot of them are geared towards children, you know?
God.
They're terrible,
Well,
though.
I'll tell you what, maybe as a kid I saw some of these, but if they were geared towards children, they missed the fucking mark. Because I don't think any person in America who saw any of these as a child has a conscious remembrance of it. Don't you remember seeing that film? I never saw that in my life.
No.
And it's not because they're denying it because they're ashamed. It's their brain saying, no, you never saw this. Look away. Look away.
There are movies that I know I watched as a kid, like in theory. Like I know I watched this movie, but I remember absolutely nothing about it, and I'm pretty sure that's for the best. You know what I mean?
Probably. More than likely.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's reel it back. So do an art thing in short form. It doesn't even have to have dialogue. What was the one? Potawatsi? God, see, I'm so bad with names sometimes. It's a movie. It's just visuals. There's no dialogue. It's not even a real story. It's just visuals. You start like in the furthest reaches of nature, and then they went around the world over a period of years and just took shots of nature and these different things, mandrills, the snow baboons and stuff. Beautiful scenery, different things. And then we slowly start getting into rural settings and we end up in the city.
Okay.
And it's not a statement of tranquil to, clusterfuck of urban civilization. It's a statement of beauty at every level.
Yeah.
Okay. So, there are naturists who are like cities are evil, but if you look at a city from an aesthetic point of view, there's so much fucking beauty. The lines, the shapes, the things. If you train your eye to just kind of look around you, you find all these things in a city that are beautiful. Not just statues and pretty parks and stuff, but there's inherent beauty in everything is what this whole thing is about. Now you could do a 5-minute bit on that. And I'm not going to say do it on what's going on now because I've seen over 200 articles on photographers and filmmakers who are, streets during lockdown and, this and that. It's like, all right.
I mean, I don't think it's a terrible idea to do it on what's going on now because it might not be.
Well, that would be a documentary piece to me or a mockumentary.
Right. I mean, it might not be something that a bunch of people will watch right now because everyone is like, oh my God. But I think that it is important and we have the ability to like widely document this. You know what I mean?
We do. Oh,
for
that's
the future. Like that's awesome.
I don't see this as an art film as short or other because I've seen these works. I mean, it's not like they're doing this and we'll see it later. They've been out and done it and posted it. Right. Most of the stuff, or published the photos and stuff. And they're all the same and they're all stark shots and this and that. I'm just talking like from an art film, this isn't the situation to make art out of because I don't think there's enough to contrast. That's the whole thing. What made this work is we had peace, we had, uprising, we had, calm, we had chaos, we have, different attitude, just the shots and the angles and the feels and the things, everything going, someone can do it. That's great. I don't think this would be the topic for it, but in this time, I think there's a lot of opportunity to get to a lot of places and work undisturbed if you're going to do an outdoor type thing, right? I'm not saying get 50 people together and shoot a film.
No, don't do that.
But as the single filmmaker, right, this is a perfect opportunity to take an artistic stance on stuff, all kinds of stuff, and make a short film. Try it, because honestly, I'd love to see this become a much more dominant genre.
Yeah.
Because this almost falls in, or other films almost fall into this, where like I like my slice of life films.
Yeah.
Where there's not really a plot. There's not an intriguing story, right?
Well,
I mean, loosely, but the station agent, local hero, push comes to shove. There's not a lot to base on there, right? And that's not why you watch it. And that's not what makes you feel satisfied. It's not the story, the plot. It's not the introduction, the journey, and the resolution. It's spending time with these people in a very natural way, the way these films were made.
Right.
And I think that's a very kind of like this. It's an art film. Everything is so thinly threaded through. And here and there, you're reminded, going somewhere with this, right? We'll get there. But the everything else, the buns on the top of that sandwich, this story, that's what you're there for.
Yeah.
And I said that's like they kind of are borderline art films because they do that. It's a masterpiece. People need to see it.
Yeah.
See it. Especially now that it's on Amazon Prime. There's no excuse not to.
I'm okay. I'm really happy that it's on Amazon Prime Video. And if you have Prime Video, you can watch it for free.
Yes.
If you don't have Prime Video, you could rent it.
Mm-hmm.
But here's a little story.
Tell us a story.
A number of years ago, I first watched this movie when I was like 16.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My dad recommended it to me and I watched it and I loved it. And then as an adult, I thought about it again at some point in time and I was like, oh man, I would really like to own that movie. And this was before like Netflix and streaming and everything came out. And I'll be damned if it didn't take me like 4 months to find the DVD, right? It was an odyssey finding this movie. And I might be wrong. And I'm sure my dad will correct me if I'm wrong.
Yep.
But I think he had it on VHS when I watched it. I believe I watched it on VHS.
Okay. Probably.
So when I finally found the DVD, I was so happy. And then when we were going to do this episode, I was like, okay, we'll have to break out the DVD because I've never heard of like other people hearing it, knowing about this movie.
I know.
Even though it was made by William Peter Blatty, right? And even though The Exorcist and he are like very well known.
Right.
This movie is not well known in the general public.
It is. I mean, it has a cult following, but the cult is nowhere near here.
No. I've never met another person who's heard of it.
No.
So, and that's not to say they're not out there, but just me personally haven't met them. So when I went to look it up on IMDb because I wanted to find the budget. We were researching it because we were going to do the episode.
Right. And
on IMDb, it said on Amazon Prime, free for Prime members. And I was like, what? So my 4 months of searching for this DVD.
Well, I mean, but we don't know how recently it came onto Prime.
Yeah, I have no idea.
Because it certainly never showed up in the what's new.
No.
Right. But I know that pain. Well, how hard was it you to find me a copy of The Tall Guy?
It was very hard and it was pretty expensive.
It was expensive and it took me for fucking ever to find a copy of Local Hero.
Yeah.
And let's not forget The Keep.
I know.
I was looking at that. They were selling VHS tapes for around $160 to $180 in the worst fucking condition. I mean, it looks like a hamster like fucked the life out of it. And then I think the highest people were on eBay were, like $380, $400 for this piece of shit VHS tape. And I'm like, fuck you. And then one day it showed up on Netflix. Remember?
Right.
I was like, no, what are you shitting me? I haven't seen this in fucking ages.
Yeah.
Oh, and we watched it. And then like 3 weeks later, it was gone.
It's so weird.
And then it came back couple months later, and then it went back away. And I'm like, what the ever-loving fuck? And then one day it showed up on iTunes. And I was never so close as to actually shitting my pants as an adult. I'm like, are they fucking with me?
Is this real?
Yeah.
What if I buy it and it disappears?
Yeah, because I love the movie. I mean, I love the book.
Yeah.
I thought the movie did a fair take on it. Mm-hmm. And, you know, anyway, yeah, I get it. I get the pain. It's like, oh, shit, all those years of fucking wanting and waiting. And I had that sad-ass recording.
I know.
I recorded the movies, folks, on my fucking... I played... Or no, it was on HBO. This was late 80s. I used my boombox to record certain music segments of the movie. I kept that tape for fucking ever. And when CDs came out, I was able to play the tape on my boombox into the computer, record it onto a DVD, and then that eventually became a digital file. And it was just the worst shit. It sounded so fucking bad. It was beyond hope. That's all I had of this fucking film.
Yeah.
Because you couldn't watch it anywhere. You couldn't find it anywhere.
It's wild.
And now I have it as if none of that angst ever And people are like, oh, The Keep. Yeah, I'll buy it. Fuck you.
You don't know what it's like.
You didn't go through you didn't earn this.
But we've culled our DVD collection a few times over the last couple of years.
Oh my God.
We had like 400 or something.
We had 560 DVDs.
Okay. And now we probably have maybe 150, if that.
At most 150. I would probably... It's closer to 100. Between 100 and 150.
Yeah.
I'm not including individual DVDs on the box sets.
Right. It's probably around 130 if we're like being really nitpicky, but
yeah.
Either way, my DVD of the ninth configuration is never going to be part of any culling, even if we can buy it on digital.
Nope.
Just because of the fucking odyssey that went into obtaining.
Well, I have a couple. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly.
Yeah.
Okay, it's all over the fucking place.
Now.
In different formats in digital, right?
Yeah.
But I've got the Anniversary Collector's set DVD. That's not going anywhere. My Superman set, Aliens.
Right.
Right? We did buy them digitally.
Yeah.
Because it was on a special. Because I'm like, we just bought the fucking box set on Blu-ray. And then I realized, fuck it. That way I don't ruin the discs.
Yeah.
Everything stays pristine. But yeah, we have a few that will never go. Like
Fear and Loathing, which was tough to find when I found it.
Right.
It's easy to find now, though. It's fucking everywhere. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Anyway, I think with that.
Yeah. So that's how good the ninth configuration is. Sit down, watch it. It's a mindfuck of a film, but in a good way.
Yes.
And I mean, it will just as just a movie watcher, it's going to make you just think and appreciate. As a creator, it's going to make you think, maybe I thought I was dipping my arm out far enough. Maybe I can stretch a little further. See what I can pull off, right? And read the book too. I mean, if you see the movie, you really want to get into, the book from the era. Do that. But anyway, we tried warning you.
This is a really long one.
Well, it's a hard one to pin down.
It is.
And, I think we've covered everything.
I think so.
Obviously, it's top-notch everything.
Yeah.
Because it had the funding and stuff. But don't let that stop you, folks. Make your thing with what you've got.
Yeah.
Just keep pushing.
Yeah. We are recording video with this podcast for the first time in this podcast tonight.
Well, yeah, but we don't know if it will actually show up on YouTube. Trying the experiment, see if I can't cut like 5-10 minutes out together.
Right.
And put up on YouTube. Because I think we're going to stop putting full episodes up on YouTube. And for our very few YouTube listeners, I'm sorry for that. But, it's time It's all about time.
Yeah.
And, that's to just convert an audio to a video to put on YouTube takes so fucking long. YouTube is so fucking slow to upload shit. And, it's like the teeny tiniest portion. So, we'll get some samples out of this, put those up in lieu of the full episode, or maybe not. This might turn into way more fucking work than I want to put into it for 5 or 10 minutes.
Very possibly, but we're working with equipment that we have on hand.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't go out and buy special equipment to try this little experiment.
No.
Of videoing it.
Yeah.
We're working with stuff that we already have on hand.
Yeah. Well, all the audio stuff we put together for the podcast. And we got some JVC cameras that are good quality, and
right.
Just we got them. See if we can use them.
Right.
It's all about time, man. Because sitting here while they're recording, no big deal, right? But someone's got to piece this shit together.
That's true. That's true.
So if you see it, it's there. If you don't, it's not, and I didn't do it. So you'll have to wait and see when the day comes.
It's like our hair and makeup team never showed up.
Nope. This is it.
Oh.
Only, again, you can kind of see, though.
It is hot in here.
Hot in here, right?
I know, but you see the foams, or you might not. But
but it's also, it got up to like 50-something degrees outside again today. So,
good Lord. Wow.
Anyway, so go to our website, goddammit.
It's www.lordsofmisrulproductions.com.
Yep. Everything's there.
Everything.
Got a podcast page with just the podcasts. We got our blog page, which the podcasts post to the blog, but I occasionally put some blog posts up.
Links to where you can subscribe to our podcast on your podcast platform of choice.
Yep.
If you don't see your podcast platform of choice up there, let us know. We'll see what we can do.
By using one of the email links.
Hey!
Just below the podcast links.
We're starting to nail this stuff.
Yeah. Let us know that your platform is not there. We can certainly get it going.
Right.
Also, we have a link to our Patreon page.
Yes.
So please go check that out because these episodes come out a little over a week ahead of time.
They do. Patrons get early access.
Yeah, and for last episode.
Yeah.
The Tombstone Rashomon.
Right.
Yeah. Patrons got to listen to that a week before the movie was even released.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And patrons also get, in a monthly survey, when we have enough to do a survey. A survey. They get a choice in the movies that we cover. This movie, The Ninth Configuration, was recommended that we cover by a patron.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah,
you can have a say in what we watch.
Well, and just real quick, how it works is we'll just, open it up. Everyone send a movie that you think we should watch. We take the top movie. We'll take the top movies, put them in a poll, right? And then the winner gets it,
Yeah.
So, yeah. Or we might even do two. I don't know, but we'll see. Anyway, also links to Twitter. I almost said Tweeter. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Yeah. We're trying to be everywhere, folks. So
we are. Find us wherever you hang out on social media.
Yep.
And also, if you could, on whatever platform you're listening, rate and review us.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
Yes. We're going to say it every week, folks, because it never stops being important. It's important.
Please, even if it's just like a sentence, it takes you like 5 seconds to type it out.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I don't give a shit personally. I mean, because, I don't always do it.
Right.
Right. So I get it. But when we say it's important on all these platforms and services and stuff. I've said that many times before. It's fucking witchcraft, but
it's how we get visibility. It's how we reach other people who are trying to do, to do stuff like this and maybe help them with our sage advice.
Well, yeah. And if you're on social media, give us a retweet on Twitter, give us a like and repost on Facebook and on Instagram. If you feel like taking the fucking time, because that's a bitch to do a repost.
I hate Instagram so much.
How about you just like let your other people know, hey, look up Bravo for the B-side.
Yeah.
All the shit's there. You'll see it.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So we've done everything. Go to our site, do our stuff, see the things, see this movie.
Yeah.
Support one another, people. And in your creativity, don't stop.
If you have something that you want us to see, email it to us.
Yeah.
Email's on our website.
Love hearing. I mean, Tragedy Girls was, accidental find.
Yeah.
It's like, oh.
And yeah. Tombstone Rashomon, someone emailed us and said, hey, do you want to check this out?
Yeah.
Of course we do.
Yeah. Love it. So yeah. Support indie film, support your B movies.
Yes.
Watch these bad boys, learn from them, entertain yourself with them. And let's make some.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, folks, it's hotter than hell in here. Like we said, time to go.
All right. Thank you for listening. I'm Danny.
I'm Jim.
And we'll talk to you next week.
Goodbye, B-siders.
Bye.